profession of pharmacy. We're here today with CEO of the Missouri Pharmacy Association, Ron Fitzwater, to help us prepare for Pharmacy Legislative Day scheduled this Wednesday, April 2nd in Jefferson City. I want to remind everyone that the Pharmacy Frontiers podcast is available on your favorite streaming app, whether it's Apple, Podbean, Spotify, or YouTube. And that the comments and opinions shared today are those of the hosts and our guests. They're not official statements of the MPA, Mitchell Pharmacy, or Mercy. Now let's introduce Ron Fitzwater, our MPA CEO.
Hello. It's good to be with
Ron.
you.
Welcome. We're excited to have you.
That's great to finally be back with you. I appreciate all you guys are doing.
Good deal.
Well, Ron, it sounds like we have lots of folks lined up to attend Legislative Day on Wednesday. And so we're trying to do our part here just to put out a few podcasts to get some of the students and other pharmacists that are attending a little bit of warm up and a little bit of information that's going on. So when they arrive to town, they'll be ready to hit the ground running.
Well, it's always a very rapid day, as you know. So if people are ready when they come in the door, I mean, we can get them some last minute information, kind of get them revved up and get them out the door so they can head over to the Capitol. So anything you can do to help us get them ready. And I always look forward to that day, and it always goes so fast. So
it is a busy day. One of my favorite days of the year, I can tell you. So pharmacists and pharmacy students, technicians, should they wear their white coats on that day?
It's always great if we can get some white coats in the Capitol. So we encourage folks that feel comfortable to bring them. It makes a nice visual. As good as we talk to legislators, we try to let them know that you're going to see a lot of white coats. Spook some of our friends with the medical association, so that kind of keeps them honest. I mean, they're always wondering what are all these white coats doing in the Capitol. So kind of keeps them on their toes as well. But yeah, it's good. It's good to wear them. I think the legislators, it just gives a little bit more professionalism, and legislators like it. And certainly that visual as you're standing there in the rotunda area in the middle of the Capitol and kind of watching coats going all different directions. It's kind of a nice feel. So yeah, we encourage people.
You don't blend in with the rest of the crowd. And it's like, oh wow, there's some white coats. Wonder what's going on here. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yep, it's good. Yeah, we had blue coats a couple weeks ago with FFA there, and other groups come in. So yeah, it gets recognition. So we encourage it.
Sure.
And Ron, I think some of the students are going to set up some tables there in the rotunda to actually do some interaction and some education with some of the legislators and some of the staff as well. I think they're going to get it set up on the second floor that day.
Yeah, that's always good. And as you're well aware, we used to do that more kind of prior to COVID and prior to the new Clean Missouri guidelines. I mean, as you remember, we had ice cream and cookies, and it was a good way to get legislators to gather in. I mean, we went through a time when they were very skittish about taking anything of value from groups. I mean, I think it's relaxed a little bit, but we kind of got away from it. So I know when Dr. Warholic kind of approached it from St. Louis College, and obviously Dr. Melchert has always been a huge supporter. I mean, it sounded like a good idea to see if we can revive some of it. And again, it gives legislators a place to go to. I mean, if there's something on the floor they're not really that interested in, they're milling around out on the third floor. So it gives them something to do and a place to talk. It gives our members an opportunity to kind of pull them over and see what the students are doing. So it works out well for everybody, and we're excited to see how it goes this year.
So Ron, the logistics for the morning or for the day, I know starting off in the morning, it seemed like it was starting pretty early, like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. That's not at the Capitol. That's going to be at another location. You want to explain where that's at, where people need to park?
Yeah, we usually try to get people in about 7:30. I mean, we'll have breakfast and we'll get people registered. I think our
Capitol Plaza
at the Capitol Plaza Hotel, which is here in Jefferson City. It's probably three and a half blocks from the Capitol, but it's a good meeting point. There's good parking at that facility. They've got underground parking that some like to use, some don't like to use because of past issues in town with flooding, but I think we're pretty safe on Wednesday, and a good surface lot. So we encourage people to park there. and then we'll get the program started. I think Kendall and MSHP representatives, and we'll kind of kick it off about 8:15. We've got a pretty full morning, as you know, and I know it gets frustrating around this office for some. I mean, we come up with an agenda, we try to stick to it, and then we get there that morning and we set it aside and we go on other schedules and we go on people's schedule. But for the most part, we'll try to get it started about 8:30. One of our most popular presentations are Kim Grinston from the Missouri Board of Pharmacy and Josh Moore from the Missouri Health Net, the Medicaid program. I know the students frown a little bit, so they're probably going to try to get there a little bit later and start rolling in as we get the legislators. We flipped the legislators a little bit. We'll have a couple before those two presentations. Our two House members, John Hukin, who we're really excited for people to get to know, Representative Hukin. He is a pharmacist from down in the southeast part of the state, and right now our only pharmacist in the legislature. So he's kind of hit the ground running as a freshman this year, filed our PBM bill, and has kind of taken the lead on that. So he'll be with us. And then also Representative Benny Cook will join us. Benny has been in the Capitol for a number of years. His wife, Amanda, is a pharmacist. So I mean, he brings kind of that 1-2 punch on our PBM issue on the House side, and they'll be speaking to the group. But we're really excited for people to get to know Representative Hukin. He is just a amazingly nice guy. He is really tagged onto this. He's passionate about the pharmacy benefit manager issue. And then we'll do those two presentations. We kind of had to flip-flop those a little bit. We're trying to get your Senator, Tim, Senator Carter, over to Capitol Plaza, and the sponsor of our bill, Senator Fitzwater, to come in. So they're going to try to get, they've got a committee hearing that starts technically at 8. It's not unusual for the Senate to start a little bit late. So, you know, they're going to try to get there about 10 o'clock. We'll get them up. Travis, Senator Fitzwater, is the sponsor of Senate Bill 45. So we wanted to give him a chance to engage. Absolutely. I mean, as you well know, he worked for the association for over 15 years. So has been intimately
been a big champion for sure. Yeah,
he's been intimately involved in the PBM issues. So I mean, it's a good time for him to connect and, you know, kind of give some background on what he's hearing in the Capitol from his colleagues. And then Senator Carter has just been a powerhouse. I mean, she has blown us away with her passion just in the Capitol in general, but as she's latched onto this issue, and she has just been a huge advocate. And again, that 1-2 punch on the Senate side has been really good for our message, and they are very aggressively working to move that bill. We got it out of committee, got it on the Senate calendar before spring break, which was a week ago. Unheard of in the post-COVID period. I mean, back in the days when Senator Sater was there, you know, we could sometimes get a little bit of activity early, but Travis went in, got a low bill number, worked his colleagues. We got it sent to the right committee, which is Senator Carter's committee, and we're moving fairly quickly. The House bill, again, come out of committee. We're trying to get it through rules, possibly, you know, be this week out of rules, so it'll be ready to go to the calendar. So there could possibly be a lot of activity in the Capitol on Wednesday. And, you know, our PBM bill in the Senate is 4 or 5 on the calendar. So, I mean, depending on how much work they get done today and tomorrow, I mean, there's always a chance. Travis is negotiating right now for floor time. I mean, the Senate, they try to get a handle. I mean, as you're well aware, you can filibuster in the Senate, you can drag that time. So he's trying to get some kind of information from leadership as to how long they will let that bill go on the floor. Obviously, the best thing would be to get it on the floor and get a vote. But if someone is going to object, I mean, at some point, leadership is going to say, you know, we're going to have to regroup. So that's what he's trying to do right now.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they brought it to the floor on Wednesday while we're there?
And I'm sure that the opposition is aware that we've got pharmacists in the building that day. But yes, I mean, as you well know, it's hard to vote against a friend, especially on an issue like this. They want to do it in the quiet of the night when no one's watching.
Sure.
And yes, it would be amazing if he can negotiate that.
And we can just fill the
You'll get
visitor
pushback.
gallery with those white jackets, right? Get all those white coats in the visitor gallery and make sure everybody knows we're there.
That could help as well. I don't know if you were with us last year when we flooded a committee room with white jackets and kind of caught them off guard. I mean, last year was an ineffective year on the Senate side, so it didn't do us a lot of good, but it got their attention and they were ready for us this year.
So Ron, what is the House bill number Hukin's bill? What is that number that people need to look up on their way to Just City tomorrow?
The two House bills, Benny Cook's number is House Bill 840, and then Representative Hukin's is House Bill 982. They're much similar in language. I mean, we've got our priority pieces in both bills, and those bills were actually merged together before they passed out of the House committee, the House Health and Mental Health Committee. So they are traveling together now. Representative Cook is kind of taking a back seat and letting Representative Hukin push it because he is so passionate and knowledgeable about the issues. So he's kind of taken the front on the bill, but Benny is very helpful. He is there with him. And certainly as we get it to the floor, I mean, they'll be working off of each other on the floor.
So just encourage our students that are listening in the bus right now as they're driving into Jeff City, look up Senate Bill 45, look up House Bill 840 and 982, which are combined now, so you can be familiar with what those look like. And just a reminder, everybody, we have to have this pass both the House and the Senate. So we need to work on both sides of the chambers on Wednesday. So please look those up as you drive into town.
Yeah, because as hopefully the students are aware, I mean, I know our veterans are, once we get it out of a chamber, it's got to go to the other chamber. And basically, even if they have passed a bill, like if Senate Bill 45 was to get passed out of the Senate, it would have to go to the House, go to a committee hearing, be heard, hopefully voted out of committee, go to the House floor and go through the same process. And hopefully at the end of the process be the same as what it came in. Because if it's changed at all in either body, then it would have to go back to the originating body. So now's the crunch time in the legislature. We've got 6 weeks left after this week. The funnel is starting to narrow. So now's the time when we've got to start putting the push. And I compliment our members. They've done a great job of talking to their legislators, and Tim, the work that you and your colleagues have done with Senator Carter has been very helpful. Again, John Hukin jumped onto the issue. Benny is always, what can I do to help? So we've got a good team, but that funnel is starting to get narrow, and there's a lot clogging it up. House is working on budget things this week. I mean, they've got to get the budget done over to the Senate, and then that'll start clogging up the Senate. So the window is closing, but the good thing is there's still a good breeze coming through. The window's still open, and it's time for us to go to work.
Ron, just a little bit more on logistics. If someone hasn't registered yet, is it too late? Can they walk in and just register right at the front desk?
We'll take care of it. I mean, I may get shot for saying that. Yes. If we can get people to Jefferson City, we will take care of it, and we'll get them registered.
How many people are we expecting?
The last numbers I saw, including students, was in the mid 300s, approaching 400.
Wow.
Students
awesome.
are down a little bit this year, but I mean, that was somewhat by design. I mean, we're trying to make it effective for those that want to go to the Capitol. So some that weren't as energized or as excited about it, I think, are staying back at their respective schools. So, but I think we're still going to be approaching 400. And
that's amazing.
We're trying to get good meetings set up, good information as the legislators come over, so they can give you talking points as here's what we're hearing from our colleagues, and we can use our time productively. I mean, it's a people sport, as you all know, so it's relationships and just having the knowledge. I mean, those that are against us will try to sidetrack us. We've just got to stay to the points. Those are that are with us. I mean, it's fun to talk to them, but I mean, if you've already got a yes, it's time to move on and find someone that hasn't committed, we probably won't spend a lot of time on hard nose because they're just not going to flip. I mean, there are people on both sides of this issue, but there's a lot of people in the middle that we can continue to sway, and that's what we want our folks focused on.
So to that point, Ron, a reminder to those students coming up, make sure that you go ahead and Google who's my Missouri House rep, who's my Missouri Senate rep. So you actually have the name of that person, and then you actually go visit with them. But Ron, what's your best advice or some advice for some of those students who've never been in that office before? How do we make our students and our new pharmacists at ease going in there and pitching the bill?
The biggest thing I try to tell anybody as they're coming to the Capitol, especially students, other than John Hukin, you know more about pharmacy than any legislator in that building. I mean, you know your profession. If you haven't been in practice, it may be a little bit more complicated in realizing the negative impact that pharmacy benefit managers have on pharmacies. But again, you know that the impact that they're having on patients for the most part, and just talk from your heart. It's like any other relationship. It's like talking Cardinals baseball, which is a little bit more fun this year, or Royals baseball. They're starting to win. It's just a conversation among friends, and that's the way you have to view it with legislators. They want to absorb information. For the most part, they want to be helpful if they can. Sometimes they don't know how to be, but I try not to get them too deep in the weeds because they've got so many issues. Here's our issues. Here's how it impacts your constituents, our patients. Here's what you could do to help us. And do you have any questions? It's just a simple conversation among friends. And that's usually the best way to do it.
And the good news is that we'll pair up all those students with a faculty member or another pharmacist that's there in the room. So if the student gets to the table, they don't have a pharmacist sitting with them, go back out front and talk to Robert or somebody at the counter, and we make sure we get them paired up with somebody who can help work with them when they get to the Capitol.
Yeah, Robin always does an amazing job of pairing our students. We do ask to try to keep in the groups that she's spent a lot of time diligently trying to get students with pharmacists that enjoy having students come with them. I mean, we've got some folks that like to go over there alone. They like to be able to do their own thing, and we respect that. I mean, if they don't want folks tagging along with them, but if they've agreed, Robin has taken a lot of time to try to pair students. They will find the person they're going with great to be with and very informational and hopefully helpful. So yeah, we would encourage them to use the system that's been put in place. I'll be around over there. Henry will be. Jorgen, as you well know, I mean, spotted. I mean, he's got a lot of things going, but we will try to be helpful at the Capitol. If they feel like they're lost, I'll be around the third floor area and I'll be watching for the coats, and they can flag me down. But she has spent a lot of time, Sarah has spent a lot of time in getting resource materials put together, so they will find some one-pagers and some information. The one-pagers have been updated. I mean, we're in the process now of, we put the big, beautiful bill out there. Now we're starting to narrow it down to here are the pieces that we really need. So we'll have some updated talking points on, we've got 6 basic provisions that we're trying to maintain in the bills, and we'll have talking points on those. But again, it's building that relationship and getting the legislator to understand that we've got a problem and we need help. Here's how you can help us. And here's a couple simple things in bills, and the trust of hopefully the legislators that have filed it. I mean, all of them have great reputations within the Capitol and the committees that they went to. And again, Senator Carter has done an amazing job of working her committee. We got a 4-2 vote coming out of there, so a very solid vote. And we got 11-0 with 2 people voting present on the House side. So we got a very solid vote on the House. So there are credible people working on these things. Legislators can feel comfort that we're not just in there trying to push something through that doesn't have legitimate reasons.
Yeah, I think Missouri's kind of in a unique spot when the fact that we've got a large PBM that sits right in Missouri, and it really makes it difficult for us to kind of push against their lobby. So I appreciate all your efforts for sure.
Missouri is a complicated place. I mean, we've got, sometimes Travis will have anywhere from 25 to 30 lobbyists trying to get in his office, from insurance companies, the pharmacy benefit managers, and now that convinced some of the unions that they're looking out for them, and pharmacists are not their friends, and you guys are raising prices on drugs. So we've got a lot of very high-powered constituencies in there fighting us, and it's basically us on our own. I mean, we've got some patient groups, but I mean, it's a tough issue to get people excited about. So, yeah, I mean, we need pharmacists in there preaching the message.
Ron, I know we just have a few more minutes before you have to get back to the Hill, but let me ask you about a couple of the other bills that are moving through that might be of interest to our students and our other pharmacists coming. One is that HIV prevention bill that allows the pharmacist to dispense pre-exposure prophylaxis. Is that Senate Bill 510? That's Razor's bill. Has that got any traction going forward?
Well, that's an old one that probably doesn't have any traction this year. The couple that we're working really hard on, I mean, I know we got a little bit of 340B language last year. There's a bill out there. It really doesn't apply to pharmacists, but we've spent a little bit of time trying to help some of our partners. And then we're still working on some cleanup language, and Representative Cook has been helpful on this, on the RSV, when we kind of agreed to some language that didn't serve us well on new products coming into the marketplace. So we think we've got a fix, and a possible fix that takes the sunset out, which would just open it up like every other drug. So we're working on that very aggressively. And then there's a couple other things that we're working on, but we promised our board PBMs would be our top three issues: PBMs, and we focused a lot of time on that.
That makes sense. I think the one you're referring to about the vaccinations is Rusty Black's bill 548. That's almost a Christmas tree bill now. It has so many things tied onto it, but that might interest some of our students coming in about vaccinations as well.
Yeah, they've been maneuvering that around. Tara Peters on the House side has been helpful on some things. So yeah, we've got some things moving, but again, this time of session, things get amended onto other bills. They get moved, they get merged, and that's why we try not to get people too focused on bill numbers, but focused on what the issue is. The legislator is always going to ask you where it is, so that's why we try to keep those PBM bill numbers out and in front of our members, and we will have the language for the other bills in the talking points as folks get in on Wednesday morning. But we're going to be hitting hard the PBMs, and that's what we're asking folks to spend time on. We think we've got the other ones pretty well taken care of. They're not as controversial, and I mean, we think we can get them done.
Yeah, I think you made reference to Senate Bill 13, Senator Brown's bill, that obviously the hospital pharmacists and those that are doing contract 340B work are going to be very interested in as well. But yeah, we got to stay focused so we can keep one united voice and one united vision as we move through the House and the Senate next week.
Yeah, and Senator Brown was very cordial last year. As you remember, that was a 4-part bill. They stripped these 3 parts out and allowed the pharmacy piece to go forward, which has been a huge benefit to a number of our members. So, I mean, we're trying to assist them and at least keeping the pieces that they need this year visible. So, yeah, it's a partnership. You have to have people working with you, and the hospitals work very good with us. The federally qualified health plans were very supportive of stripping their things out last year and working with the pharmacies and allowing some of our members to be contract pharmacists, or at least be able to participate in the program. So it has been a good benefit. And, you know, now this year, hopefully we'll get the rest of it.
That'll be good.
What's the weather going to be looking like on Wednesday? Or have you checked with the weatherman? Do we need to bring an umbrella or anything?
I would bring an umbrella to the capital city. In fact, we've got a staff meeting tomorrow. I mean, we may try to make some provisions for other transportation. We were supposed to have a massive storm over the weekend. We we got just a smattering of rain, but bringing an umbrella would not be a unwise move.
And is there a problem with?
I mean, you asked about the facility. We hold it at the Capitol Plaza, but then it's about a 3-block walk up to the Capitol. There's just no parking up there, so there's no sense getting in your car and parking as far away as you are. And we try to cut through the Truman Building, which takes some of the up and down out of the climb up to the Capitol, plus you're undercover. But there is exposure getting to the Truman Building and exposure on the other side. So if it would happen to be raining, it might be handy. I mean, we don't really have any left around here. We used to have some from some of our old golf tournaments.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we may have a few that we can bring in, but we won't have enough to be able to handle 400. And this city's not fun if you're soaking in going into the Capitol.
I can imagine.
So Tim, give us a little bit of a summary here. What our listeners and what our students and our pharmacists coming to Jeff City need to hear and be prepared for.
You say Tim?
Yeah, Tim, give us a summary.
Well, I know as an attendee over the past years, the first few years I went, I was just still trying to figure everything out. But just always keep in mind, everything's fluid with the day, and it, like Ron said, it happens very fast. So I think it's important to take direction from what the MPA leaders are saying. And if you have a pharmacist that you're coming with, stay focused, because by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day's just about over already. So it's fast and furious is the way I look at it. And the great thing about it is, Ron, just down the road afterwards, people get to make a little pit stop occasionally. Can you tell us a little bit about the Central Dairy?
Well, we do have an ice cream factory in town, the Central Dairy. They make ice cream here. They're full dairy, so milk and everything else. But yeah, that's a popular stop for people coming to Jefferson City, and I'm sure it will be full. There's another ice cream place across the street called the Ice Cream Factory. They kind of compete back and forth. Totally different types and styles of ice cream, but both very good. But Central Dairy is kind of the old historic, the old dairy counter and the ice cream there and the big pails, and you walk along and pay. So it's a good incentive to survive the day. But just to tag on to your answer, I would just tell students, just have fun, just relax and have a good time. Learn something that maybe a system that maybe you've never been involved with before, because it's fun if you take the fear factor out. Again, they're just people trying to do things good for the state of Missouri, the legislators. They want to hear from constituents. They love talking to students. They like the energy level. So just have a fun time, but let's move this issue down the road while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Sounds exciting. Well, Daniel, you want to close us out here?
Well, Ron, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of the Pharmacy Frontiers podcast. We're looking forward to making a difference in our state as we all descend upon Jeff City on Wednesday. We're going to encourage our listeners to not only listen to this podcast, but share it with your friends and others so that they can get prepared to be successful on Wednesday. With that, thank you for being with us. And remember, it's a good day to be in pharmacy.
Thanks. See you Wednesday.